everyone, welcome to our homeschool table. My name is Jerilyn, and today we are going to be going through all of the curriculum that we used with my 4th grade daughter this year in the 2023-2024 homeschool year, and we are going to discuss whether they were a hit or whether they were a miss. And some of these subjects were a hit for me and a miss for my daughter, or vice versa. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to start down here on this end of my table and go all the way to the end because I have everything laid out here. I will show kind of a clip of that so that you can see my table piled with curriculum. So we are going to start with math, and we have been using Math-UC since the very beginning when my daughter was in kindergarten. And this year we were working on the Delta level, which is single and multiple digit division. And though we really like this program, and my daughter would say it's a miss no matter what level it is because she doesn't really care for math, but I think it's a win or a hit even so. And we do supplement a little bit with this curriculum. It is a mastery-based program. It does incorporate some review. A few days a week we do the systematic review pages, but because things don't spiral back all the time and kind of constantly, we picked up the Kumon math workbooks for multiplication. This goes through some review of single, double digit, triple digit, by double digit, all sorts of multiplication practice in here. And then also the Kumon division book. And so we are going to be using these a little bit over the summer and also throughout the next school year. I just have her do 1 page a day. So these were definitely a hit, as well as Math-UC. Next, as we go into language arts, we started the school year with a wonderful reading program. We have Christian Light Education's Reading 4, and we really liked this. I really liked it. My daughter really liked it. She really enjoyed the stories in this book. I have a full review on this curriculum if you are interested in getting this for your 4th grader, or even a 5th grader that just wants some easier reading but still good stories. This came with 5 light units, so this is only a semester course. So for that reason, when we were done after 20 weeks with this course, we picked up the Fix It Grammar Book 1, which is Nose Tree. And so we only did about 10 weeks of this, and we might be going back to finishing this up next fall, starting on week 11. This was a hit for my daughter. I would say for me, it was kind of an in-between because I felt like it went a little bit fast for her being in 4th grade, but she really enjoyed the 1 sentence a day aspect. Another thing that we put in for language arts once we finished that reading program was building spelling skills, and this was the grade 3 because I got this for her last year, and she just really likes these activities. For her, this was a big hit. Our full language arts curriculum, however, was Sunlight Language Arts D, and I didn't actually originally intend on using this for the 4th grade school year, but when I bought the reader set used on eBay, when I got it in the mail, it actually came with the language arts curriculum for free, and it had the instructor's manual, it had all of the student pages unused, all of that. So I just went ahead and tried it to see what we thought. It was okay. We definitely liked that it was a Charlotte Mason style of curriculum. We did stop right around week 26, but I really liked the format that they use. So this whole page right here is 1 week's worth of work for your student. So on the first day, they would practice this passage. They would pay attention to capitals, ending marks, any words that they would need to really focus on for learning the spelling of that word, any kind of punctuation, things like that. And so then you would use that passage as dictation. Then there would be another day. So each of the purple bars is one day. So just a little bit of work each day. There's always some creative expression, which is a writing assignment of some sort. And the nice part also was that they would come with rubrics in the teacher's manual on how to grade those assignments, which is helpful. So some of the things on this particular paper are poetry that they're working on. They go through grammar concepts. If my daughter had liked the language arts program a little bit more, I would definitely have considered continuing on with it, but she wasn't the hugest fan, and I wanted to go a slightly different direction for next year with a more Charlotte Mason style with copywork, dictation, narration, and or written narration. So we won't be continuing on with the language arts program, but I did really like it. Another book that she read kind of on the side was Pegu, which is a Holling Clancy Holling book. And this I have talked about in other videos, but they're just short little 1 to 3 page chapters with some pictures. And this was a story of a little hermit crab named Pegu and all of the adventures that he gets up to. And so she liked that book, she said, and the stories were funny and things like that. But she said she could kind of fall asleep afterwards, so not her favorite. The readers, however, were a huge hit. She really liked these. There were some, obviously, that she liked more than others, and I'm going to be doing a video in the next few weeks of her kind of top 5 and bottom 5 of which ones that she would highly recommend or not on the level D Sunlight readers. Okay, so now we are going to head into history, and this is one that we changed mid-year. So at the beginning of the school year, actually last summer, I had a baby, and I had been using Sunlight for the last few years, but it seemed like it would probably be very overwhelming to use a full History Bible Literature program through Sunlight when I had a newborn. So I decided to get something that was a little bit more independent that my daughter could do by herself, but and we did that, but she didn't really love the program, and I was just kind of feeling about the whole thing. So we actually decided to switch. But let me show you what was kind of our miss and what we put down. Our Star Spangled Story, and this comes with a Part 1 textbook, a Part 2 textbook, a student workbook, which my daughter did really like, a timeline book, which we enjoyed, and a rhythms and rhymes book, along with some audio that you get as a digital download. So we would play the audio along with these little rhythms and rhymes. And then it also incorporates some literature. So, and we actually didn't wind up reading any of these, but I'm hoping to incorporate these somehow in the next year or so. Because they do seem like really good books. So we have Freedom Crossing, Tulliver's Secret, Katie, and Benjamin West and his cat Grimalkin. So there's actually 4 more books that come with this series, but we had already read some of them. So the other 4 are Farmer Boy by Laura Ingalls Wilder, Mountain Born by Elizabeth Yates, we've read those, Emily's Runaway Imagination by Beverly Cleary, which my daughter had already read last year as part of the 4th grade readers through Sunlight. And then The Year of Miss Agnes by Kirkpatrick Hill, which we read in, I think it was Sunlight History Bible Literature Level B. We read that book and we really liked that book. It's kind of a tearjerker though. So that's why we only had 4 of these books, because we'd already read or would be reading those pretty soon. So now for what we switched to using in January. So a friend of mine, she has used in the past Bookshark, which is kind of a sister company to Sunlight, where Sunlight incorporates Bible and Christian books, things like that. Bookshark leaves those out for people that might be using funds from a charter school, or people that just don't want the religious aspect, but they still want the great books and the literature-based history. So she had level D and E, and so what I did was, since we only had from January till the end of the school year, I decided to look through everything that would be covered in level D, because that was we were going to do the level D section from January through May right now, which we're almost done. And then we would be getting our full Sunlight HBLE for next year. So that's what we did. So I just wanted to show you some of the books that we really liked. So we have The Landmark History of the American People, Volume 1, and Volume 2 does come with this program, but since we'll be doing it in HBLE next year, I have only wanted to go through this book. We read North American Indians. We read What's the Big Idea, Ben Franklin. If You Were There When They Signed the Constitution. The Lewis and Clark Expedition. Pedro's Journal, which we really liked. This one took us forever to get through, but we did finally finish it, The Witch of Blackbird Pond. We listened to Carry On, Mr. Bowditch on audio, which we really liked. And then this summer, we are going to be reading Johnny Tremain, but we'll probably do this one on audiobook as well. So those are all books that were part of the level D section of the Bookshark DE. So we really liked that. It was a big hit for us. Okay, so the next section here that I have is science. And we would do science about once a week, usually on Mondays, because I knew that if I didn't get it done at the beginning of the week, it was probably going to get pushed to not even happening. But I had purchased 2 different units from The Good and the Beautiful for this year. And the first one was Kingdoms and Classification. And this is for 3rd through 8th grade. And we got the student journal for grades 3 through 6. And my daughter really liked doing the activities in that book. I also purchased the book pack that went with that, which included microbes, taxonomy trivia, and fungi study. And my daughter really liked going through all of those books. The next unit that I purchased from The Good and the Beautiful was marine biology. And this is also for grades 3 through 8. And this was my daughter's favorite. We did this one second. So we started this, I think, in January. And it came with Dangerous Sea Creatures, Dive, which was exploring coral reefs around the world. And we would mark these on our map, and so that she could see where the different reefs were. And then this one, Explore the Ocean Floor. So she really liked these books. And then last, we haven't really done a lot on health. And so last year when I was at our local homeschool convention, they had a used curriculum exchange. And at the very end, before everybody packs everything up, they have a dollar sale. And so at the dollar sale, I got this book, Health, Safety, and Manners, which is from Abeka. This is for 3rd grade technically, but it didn't really matter. We were just looking to incorporate a little bit of health study because we hadn't really done much of that in the last couple of years. And I just wanted to go over basic things like taking care of your body, exercise, nutrition, things like that, drinking water. And then at the back, it has a nice section on manners. And so it taught concepts like politeness, kindness, respect, helpfulness, obedience, gratitude. And so that was really nice to have conversations about those things as well. So that was science and health. Okay, moving a little farther again down the table. This we are going to talk about kind of our morning time things. So we typically do breakfast and Bible time at the beginning of the day, and we also do character study and habit training during that time as well. So I will show you all of those things. But the first thing is we did Faithopedia this year. Now, since we weren't doing a History Bible Literature program with Sunlight, we didn't really have a specific Bible study that we were doing with any of our other curriculum. So I decided to get the Faithopedia. This is what the cover looks like. This is the Old Testament Faithopedia from Not Consumed Ministries. And this was about $30, and it's really excellent. This has 36 weeks worth of study, and it's 5 days a week, and it focuses on different things. You can see them here on the front. God's books, God's words, God's character, God's stories, and God's timeline. So it would go through a book of the Bible, some sort of important term from that book, some sort of name of God or character trait that he has, stories from people that maybe had some sort of similar situation to something that happened in that book of the Bible, historical figures, and then God's timeline. And it would go through the different things that happened throughout that book. I would also assign my daughter the personal Bible reading from Ambleside Online. And so this year she studied 1st and 2nd Samuel, and then different bits and pieces of the Gospels. And so then after she would read her Bible reading that day, she would use her 4th grade school nest notebook to write a little bit about what she was grateful for. We called this her gratitude journal. We've used different gratitude journals in the past, but this year I wanted her to be the one writing it in kind of sentence form and really thinking about those things. So she would draw pictures or just write. I'll show you some blank pages in here because she doesn't really want me to show her work, but there's dot grid on one side and then lines on the other and a date spot at the top. So she really enjoyed writing in there. When it came to Easter time, I decided to pick up the Easter unit study called He is Risen Indeed, an Easter study. And this is from Where'd You Learn That?, which is a company run by Rachel from 7 and All YouTube channel. And that Easter unit study was really excellent. It also recommended that you get this book, which is Daily Life at the Time of Jesus. And so we read through different parts of this, not the entire thing, but pretty close. And then we did character trails from Character Concepts. I've done a full review of this as well. This is by Marilyn Boyer, and we really enjoyed learning about different character traits. So this was definitely a hit. So were all of the other Bible resources that we used. And then in the same kind of time period during the day, during Bible time, we would also do habit study, which is Laying Down the Rails by Simply Charlotte Mason. And we only started really using this book in March or April, but we've really been liking this. This is just a little guide on how to teach different habits. So the one that we started with was cleanliness, and then now we are working on courtesy. And they recommend that you do just a couple of lessons per week. There are 12 lessons per habit, 6 to 8 weeks worth of habit training on each of the habits. So the next part of our morning time is when we would do some of our more Charlotte Mason-y enrichment subjects. And so we this year used the Ambleside Online Poetry Anthology Volume 4. This is for the Year 4 students. And this covered Alfred Lord Tennyson, Emily Dickinson, and William Wordsworth. And my daughter said that this was a hit, but she enjoyed Alfred Lord Tennyson's the most. Emily Dickinson was really hard to understand, and William Wordsworth was kind of the same as well. Not super easy to understand what they're talking about. Another hit was Christian Liberty Nature Reader, and this is a nice little nature reader book. We used volume 3 this year, but we will also be using volume 4 for next year. So she really liked this book. Just a couple of pages of reading per day. We did start out where I would read it to her during our morning time, and then towards the end of the year we switched where she would just read this on her own and then narrate to me what that part was about, and she really liked doing that. So we'll probably do that again next year. It also came with a little answer key. The next 2 books are part of the geography recommendations from Ambleside Online, and these actually are not on the 4th grade level, the grade 4. These are grade 1 through 3, I believe, and so I was just kind of working my way through grade 1 through 3's assignments, but you would just read like this is one lesson, just a little page. This is another lesson. So they're just really simple little geography bites. And then same thing with this Charlotte Mason one. Here's one lesson was about a page front and back. Every couple lessons there'll be some questions, and we really liked this one too. So I would say both of these were a hit, and we will likely just pick these up from time to time during our morning time next year. And the last thing that my daughter really loved from kindergarten and 2nd grade, we did one of these, but she wanted to do it again this year, which was the Geography Skill Sharpener from Evan Moore. And this is on her grade level 4, but this is just a nice little extra activity, and I had her do this on Fridays, and she would just do a couple pages each Friday, and it was just something that she enjoyed. I didn't necessarily tell her she had to do a certain amount, but she did kind of keep up as far as being able to finish this by the end of the year. She's almost done. So that was a hit as well. So I meant to keep this video kind of short, but if you are still around waiting here till the end, thank you so much for watching today. And if you have any questions or comments about any of the curriculum that we used this last year, please feel free to ask questions or let me know what you think about any of those down in the comment box. And if you're still here at the end, would you please like and subscribe to my channel, since clearly you don't mind these longer videos. I will be sharing here in the next few weeks just some general reflections about this year, things that I do or don't want to carry on into next year, and things like that. So be looking forward to those videos. I hope you guys are all having a really great day, and we will see you next time.